Jupp, alright. Herzlich willkommen hier bei Sing & Talk. Ich bin Tanya Birri und ich bin der Meinung, wir haben uns noch nicht fertig zugehört. Vielleicht geht es euch ähnlich. In der letzten Zeit hören wir Sätze natürlich wie «Die Welt wird nach Corona nicht mehr die gleiche sein, wie wir sie kennt haben voran». Ich höre Sätze aus meinem Umfeld, die sagen, ich bin essentiellst enttäuscht von den Menschen, von der Menschheit. Ich höre Sätze wie, ich wünschte mir, Corona würde noch lange weitergehen, so die Zeit jetzt, aber das darfst du ja niemandem sagen. Der Satz kommt dann auch noch hinten dran. Und andere Seiten von, ich habe meine Existenz verloren, wie soll es weitergehen? Ich will mehr zuhören, mehr in die Tiefe gehen. Der Lukas Barfuß, der Schweizer Schriftsteller, sagt, es ist zwischen uns und nicht einfach in uns, also zwischen uns. Und mir ist es Anliegen, mit dieser Sendung, die totally unscripted ist, eben dem Ganzen auf den Grund zu gehen. Und die ersten Gäste, die ich in den nächsten paar Wochen hier eingeladen habe, sind Menschen, die mit der Stimme sowohl privat natürlich zu tun haben, aber eben auch beruflich. Und ich freue mich heute ganz, ganz fest, meinen ersten Gast zu begrüßen. Da ist der Reginald Saunders. Warmest welcome, Reggie.
Hello, hello, Tanya. It's very nice to see you.
Yeah, so we speak in English. That's awesome. Oops, that's awesome. So, how do you experience, like these times as a person and as an artist?
Well, basically, it's an opportunity that I've taken upon myself to go deeper, because what are my options? It's either to sink or to swim,
Yeah.
And I find that by going deeper, you find out qualities that you thought maybe you didn't even have, and then they shine, and then you're thinking, wow, this is, what have I been missing, as opposed to taking it hard and becoming depressed. We hear so many stories of people, of course, losing their jobs, unemployment, not really knowing what to do next, basically. But to me, the only true answer is to go deeper within yourself. For example, what I do every day, and I was doing this before the coronavirus, but I do it even more now, because prayer does help.
What does help?
Prayer does help.
Prayer.
Prayer does
right.
help. Whether people believe it or not, it really does. Prayer in different forms,
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what your faith is. So what I do every morning, I meditate. I do meditation every morning. I close out everything around me, all of the noise, because we have so much noise around us. So I close that out and I center. I focus on me. I focus on the center of me. Because without a healthy me, I can't help anybody else, So, and then that's how I start my day, and I think it's very important. Meditation I use like breakfast. How they say breakfast is the first and the best meal of the day, because it really gets you going. It generates you. It moves you. So I use meditation as my meal, my first meal of the day. So I really focus on that, because if you start right, you have a better opportunity, better potential. Potentially, it's better for you to end right too. But if you start wrong,
Also, that reminds me of a sentence that or like a study that they did. So they asked like very successful people, they were very, very successful in business, and they asked themselves, okay, what do you do when you don't do business? Well, like your free time.
Right.
So, the ones they go sailing with a boat, the other one play classical piano,
right.
They do their things. But one thing they had in common, and that is that there was no talking.
Exactly.
It was complete silent, So what does that say, So it says that in complete silence, like in times like these, and as you are practicing it,
Absolutely.
We have like a space, like just that space is creating like a moment of possibility for new things can come, because the noise is like cut down,
Absolutely.
So that is so true what you say.
Absolutely. And clarity, I find you can find clarity in silence. When you are silent, when you're quiet, when you cut out all the noise, all of the things that we kind of do because we're just normally used to doing it.
Yeah.
We don't really ask why we're doing it or why we're not or whatever. We just do it because it's just going with the flow with whatever. But clarity is really found in quietness and stillness. If you can be still, it's very difficult to be still in this world. The world is spinning, we're spinning, everybody's spinning like a top. So it's like, I find, because we're all looking for clarity. We're all looking for answers. We're all looking for, everybody's looking for the same thing. Doesn't matter who you are. You're looking for what? You want to be, it's like belonging. You want to be understood. You want to be accepted, which is belonging also. You want to, you need to have purpose in your life, you know, and I find that a lot of, depending on the circumstance, a lot of times people forget that what the real thing is to have a purpose, because if you have a purpose, then you have something to focus on, you know, as opposed to just whimsically doing something, you know. And so I find that with, you know, with the purpose, making a purpose or moving on with the purpose, then I actually, you know, have a reason to get up. I have a reason to move on, you know. Just because maybe I was, as an artist, I can say as an artist for myself, just because I was maybe doing my artistry in a certain way for the last 10 years, it doesn't mean that it has to continue on that path. An artist is multifaceted, you know. He or she can do so many different things in so many different ways, more than many fingers that you have, you know, so.
that brings me to a kind of a combination, because you're talking on one side about meditating, like meditation is
Right.
like your breakfast, you know.
Absolutely.
So like one of the reasons why I invite you and also as my first guest is because I know you now since so many years, you know.
Right.
And one thing is like definitely constant and really touches me, and that is your gift, let's say, your amazing gift to whenever you leave the stage as an artist, something happened in between, like before you enter the stage, there was kind of energy on stage, like in the audience. Then there is you doing some magic, and then you're leaving, you know, in your evening or in your night, you know. But you are so powerful on stage, really. I mean, you can, the small and the big ones, there is really magic happening. But you're talking about meditation. So here is louder than loud on a way, because, you know, the drum is hidden, and there is you meditating. So can you tell us a little bit, you know, like board us on a little bit into your world? What's going on here?
Absolutely, and that's a very good question, actually, or segue to that. Even I find that I actually like. I'll put it like this: it's not that I like noise, but I use it to gauge how still I can be. Because they say if you can have equilibrium.
What's that?
Equilibrium mean like pretty much same thing as stillness. If you can be calm and collected and just, you know, in tune with yourself.
Yeah.
If you can be that within chaos, then being that without chaos is simple.
I love that.
It's simple. So I use those opportunities when there's a whole lot of noise, whether it's on the stage or whether I'm walking down Bahnhofstrasse or any street, and there's bum, 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 bum. I use it as an artist, you know, as a creative person. Sometimes, you know, I'm using it as, you know, as sounds, music, this and that, something positive. We can talk about this also, positive affirmations, which is also in line with that too. It's basically to have an understanding of to be centered, to be centered. Even when the nucleus is centered, we're centered like this. And no matter what's going on around us, it doesn't affect the nucleus. We're right here. We affect everything else, but what everything else should not affect us, affect us, I should say. So when I'm on stage, going back to your question, and I saw what you wrote on, I appreciate that, what you wrote on Facebook and Instagram. My secret, if you will, is exactly that, my goal is basically, my only goal is to touch the hearts, is to grab the hearts of my audience. So my understanding, that's the whole thing, that's the whole thing. Because if I can grab your heart, then everything else is going to follow.
Yeah.
I don't have to reach out or concentrate or think about other things around me, because everything else is going to flow. And not only will I have fun, everyone else is going to have fun. You're going to be talking about it in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. You're going to want to come back and get some more. When can I see this guy again?
Yeah.
And I find also that, just one last thing.
No, sure.
Yeah, sorry, no problem. I find also that some of the things, and I don't feel that I'm special in that way. I feel like we all have that. But I think what happens is that a lot of us don't tap into that beautiful energy that we all are possessed with. We all have it. But the ones that do really shine. So I find that if you can tap into that energy of beauty, and then it comes out and it glows, it gives you this air of, how can I say, this air of wonderment, and people are so attracted to it. And they can't answer why, and it's hard for you to even explain it. So, the only thing you can do is show by example.
Absolutely, absolutely, because we are resonating. We stand there in the audience. If we have the concert as the symbolic, and then there is the artist, and the artist is creating something which is now you, and this, whatever you create, of course, comes to us, and then we resonate. Something in us resonates, and then this comes back, So,
absolutely.
And that everyone is resonating, and that is creating like kind of an energy field, and
right.
people go with that energy and that happiness or beauty inside, because so many things are like energized, so they go into their day, in their night first, maybe, most likely, and then next morning in their day, in the office, maybe it's a Monday or Tuesday morning, and that's such a relevant energy out
Absolutely.
there, caused by one person. And I have one question. Well, caused, of course, with the band, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
Now
everything is important.
Absolutely. No question about that. But now I really want to focus the singer, because
Absolutely.
there is kind of quite a strong connection between singer and audience. And the power in meaning is so big, So there's one thing I'm interested in. Some people say, or we hear a sentence on the way, which say, yeah, backstage, like you are another person, or when you go on stage, then you have to put on your role or your this and that.
Right. Your show, your mask, your whatever, your costume. Yeah.
Right. So, what is happening in yourself when you're backstage? And there is this 1, 2 steps, and then the light is on, and then what's going on, on those 2 steps in you?
Well, I can. I'll tell you a short, funny story.
Awesome.
It wasn't funny at the time. It was a bit uncomfortable, but everything worked out. I don't know why with me, like I said, God takes care of fools and babies. I don't know which one I am, but I don't ask questions anymore. I just say thank you. So I was at a show with a band and performing. And so I was, actually there are 2 stories like that, but I'll just give this a couple. So I was in what I do is basically I go to what I call my office. And my office is the toilet.
Ah, the toilet. All right.
Because it's like, where else can you go? There's tons of people around you.
Yeah.
Where else can you go to be alone? I mean, backstage, and sometimes backstage is not necessarily close to the stage. So I always, before everything happens, I find, okay, what is the closest area that I can be alone in before I get to the stage, get into the stage. So this was in Langenthal, by the way, Langenthal Festival.
Langenthal, okay. All right.
And so, I'm in the toilet, right? And I wasn't doing anything in the sense of like what people do in the toilet. I was there. Basically going back to what you were saying, what you were asking. This is again where I meditate. I always take 5 minutes before the show. And I go and I find my quiet spot, my quiet place, where I can be alone and center myself, and then generate all of that power and put it all inside. So when I hit the stage, it's time to roll. I'm bombastic. I'm the sun and the moon and the stars, So this is how it happens. Just so happened that this time, I was in the toilet and I didn't expect them to announce my name so early. And so I'm sitting down, and all of a sudden I hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, from Los Angeles, California, please give it up for Reggie Saunders." And I said, "Oh my God, did I hear what I think I just heard?" And I'm like, and there's tons of people, right? So, it's, normally if there's nobody, I could just scoot to the stage. But you have to almost like you're in the Amazon, and you have to cut through to get through the people and the weeds and stuff. And so, yes, he's on his way, Reggie Saunders. And I'm saying, I'm here. So I ran out. I jumped on the stage, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Boogie Wonderland. Hit it, everybody's looking and da-da-da-da-da-da. And then they're like looking at me, and then they're looking down, and they said, after the song, they said, "Reggie, where are your shoes?"
Where are your shoes?
I left my shoes because I ran out of the toilet so quick. I just dry. I said, "Hey, whatever I need, that's the only thing I'm taking. If I don't need it, it's just gonna stay here, So I didn't want to waste any seconds. So that was one thing. So
yeah. Also, next, sorry, maybe we have like, can we have a song from you?
Yes.
Something.
Yes. Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I've even prepared a couple. Yeah. I was thinking of, I can do more too, but I was going to do an original. Yeah. And also...
just one for now. One is
just
cool.
one.
Yeah, and maybe later we do another.
Okay, so an original.
Yeah, I love originals.
Let me wet the whistle, as we say.
Ist gut mit ihm sein Mikrofon, oder ist das? Ist gut? All right.
All right, okay, here we go.
Yep.
All right. Woo.
Yeah.
It's amazing,
Take your time.
I can do this. It's amazing, and I don't know if you have this too, because I know you're a beautiful singer and artist within your own right, and it's like, you can sing in front of 5,000 people with ease, but when it's like one person, it's like, so.
I did the snip. I did the snip.
Okay, here we go. Check it out. Maybe you've heard it. It's been a long, long day, toiling in the sun. Night sets in, gonna have some fun. She's shining like a queen in the neon light. I will be hers tonight. Baby, be mine. Promise me you will stay by my side. You'll never have to look to find. I'm here waiting for you. Check it. Honeydew dipped in caramel cream. Oh, the kind you find in your wildest dream. Beauty so deep, irresistibly sweet. I'm begging down on my knees. Baby, be mine. Promise me you will stay by my side. You'll never have to look to find. I'm here waiting for you. Check it. Some fade away and that's a crime. She's rhythm and rhyme, my lifeline. Baby, be mine. Promise me you will stay by my side. You'll never have to look to find. I'm here waiting for you. One more time.
Yeah.
Some fade away and that's a crime. She's rhythm and rhyme, right on time. Baby, be mine. Promise me you will stay by my side. You'll never have to look to find. I'm here waiting for you.
Yeah, awesome. Love it. Oh,
Thank you, thank you.
beautiful.
Yeah, I wrote that with the band called Boost.
Boost, yeah,
Yes,
love
Boost.
the band. Yeah.
With 3 O's, if you want to say it.
Boost, ooh. Yeah.
Right. And yeah, so that was from our
All
album
right.
call.
So what's the other story?
You want to know the other story?
I
The other
love
story.
stories. Come on.
It's similar, but a different location earlier in my career. Same thing again. You know, I was in the toilet meditating, and I hear, and I had calculated the time, so I knew I had enough time. It was very close to the stage. I hear it again. Ladies and gentlemen, coming all the way from Los Angeles, California, put your hands and your hearts together for the one and only Reggie Saunders. I go to the door is locked. I can't get out. I'm locked in the bathroom. I cannot get out. I heard the people screaming my name. Oh, everyone's screaming, you know, Reggie Saunders, come on out. Yeah, wow. And I'm screaming, I'm saying, I'm here, I hear you, I'm here. You know, I almost started singing in the toilet because I said, band, go ahead and start to play. I know the song. Maybe I can sing loud enough, you know. And then a good friend of mine at the time, we talk about, this is something else we could talk about, how sometimes you, without speaking words, you kind of know what the other person is feeling. You go on feeling. And this person, this friend of mine said, maybe Reggie's in trouble, you know, because he would be out by now. And she remembered that I actually went to the toilet. So she left the crowd, came to the toilet, and I said, I'm locked in. I can't get out. I can't get out. People are screaming. Fortunately, she could unlock it from the other side. I rush out, hit the stage full blast, never stopped, never turned around.
Wow.
And I don't know why, but nobody talked about it. I guess they forgave me. And this is the beauty of music, too. One of the most powerful, there are many powerful things about music, but I find if you are with your audience, I find that the artists, especially singers, because singers, as you said, you know, we are the medium. You know, we're the medium. Basically, what the band is doing goes through the singer and goes to the audience. The audience reciprocates, gives it back, it comes back through the singer and goes to the band. So we're all one family together. So sincerity, you know, the audience is always looking for someone sincere and honest on the stage, you know. Even if you make some mistakes, you know, live you do make some mistakes. But I have found for the most part, if you're sincere in what you do, if you're honest with your audience, if you show your heart instead of your head, which means your ego, they accept you. They embrace you, you know, and they want more of you. And then even your mistakes are not mistakes anymore. You know, it all becomes one beautiful roller coaster, you know.
I just remember one moment where I experienced you, speaking about audience. I experienced you many times with audience, but that special moment was just one woman sitting there on this table, on this bar hocker, right? And you were singing like sexual feeling, you know, thing. And then she was, you know, with her friend and another woman friend, and you know, and then, you know, that's kind of a sexy atmosphere, and you were there. It's a small location here in Zurich, and then suddenly, and I saw it all, you were like that close to her and started to really, you know, without being like, how does it, awkward?
Exactly.
You have always style, and that, because I was like, whoa, she's gonna be like, and that's what she did, you know. But what I want to say is actually in that moment, you definitely 100% cross so much the safety, let's say, you know, the
barrier.
Exactly, yeah, so you're right there, and then she had no chance to go out there, which was for her in the moment very strange, of course, but it was so beautiful because you were so really in the music, and actually you represented the story of the music, and that was definitely, you know, had good feelings around.
Absolutely.
But in that moment, what I realized, what I thought is so beautiful, is that she definitely, and also me, or we all, could not hide or close anymore our own emotions.
There you go.
Because you completely went in her zone.
Absolutely.
And there was no possibilities to just open and go with the flow. So she had the time of her life. That was awesome. I was so happy for her that you, with your whole being, and I see the meditation part in that so much, because you were completely in you, but really let everything out, everything possible artistic-wise out, that she had the chance to get really deeply touched through this whole situation, you know? The reason I can do that, or I don't know if you want to use the word kind of negative, but get away with that. The reason that I can do that is one word, and this word I learned, it was embedded, knocked in my head ever since I was a little kid from my mother. Respect. Respect. If people see that you are honest and you are respectful towards them, they will open up to you like a lotus flower, you know, and give you whatever you want, you know, because even though you know, I'm maybe inside of that space, after they get away from the fear factor of like, hey, what's going on? And they say, wait a minute, this feels good. I want to explore this more. I want to be a part of this. And I don't care who's watching, you know? And if they feel that respect from you, this is the key. Absolutely.
This is the key. You know,
just in this very moment, I just realized how much I love this situation like now. Because like everyone could talk about respect and respect, you know, respect each other. It's on Facebook every day.
Right.
But now, as I said in the beginning, that Lucas Berfus, the writer, he said that it's between us.
Absolutely.
So what I mean by that is that I personally have an experience with you where I know that every word that you say is completely true. Because I had an experience with you where we had a workshop there in the mountains, you know, and they were all ladies, and good-looking ladies, and, you know, like the music and the evening and the you know, how to say, it was good Güppli, champagne and music, and then like you and the piano player was like the only guys and good-looking and wicked, you know, but you, and of course also the other one, but especially you, because you were much more near to the you know, to the process.
Right.
you really had so much respect, because I didn't know if I care about my people,
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely.
I'm like, I'm easygoing, but when there's something, I go like, you're Baba, you know.
Right.
You know. But I appreciated that so much, and exactly this. Also, these things made me, you know, invite you here, or I'm interested to know more about you and about us talking about this, you know, about people watching and so on. So I found this for me personally now very beautiful, because I have a proof, you know, that what you say is true, and it's your mother told you this, and you know, that's beautiful.
I appreciate that.
Just that, and it's very powerful. This is root building, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and you know. And respect first starts with numero uno, me.
Yep.
Like I said, if I can't respect myself, all of the things that I want to give to someone, I have to first have it within me. And I believe, like going back to what I was saying before, I truly believe everybody has it. But because people, how can I say, a lot of times we get caught up in today, and we base tomorrow on today. And I think that's a wrong approach. It's not a good approach, because if you base your future on what you have today, then you won't be able to see. It's very difficult to grow. What will replace something that could actually grow into something beautiful is fear, because you're thinking, okay, today's situation, going back to what we were talking about before, today's situation is grim. Okay, job loss, people becoming depressed, people dying, people this, all of this negativity is floating around. So you can get caught up in that, you know, and just really, really come down on yourself. Or you can find another way. There's so many other positive ways or affirmations to go out, to venture out, you know, per se. And so I lost my train of thought. So to do this, we have to retrain our minds. We have to retrain our minds. We have to refocus. You know, some of us are going to have to go back to the basics. You know, we're going to have to crawl.
Yeah.
We're going to have to crawl. We're going to have to, you know, we're going to have to go back. And we shouldn't be afraid of that. Because in one way, it's a beautiful thing, because it's a clean slate. It's something new. It's something fresh. We can start over again. Not that we forget what we have, our history. We can use that to our benefit. But we can have a clean slate now to start fresh, to say, okay, like the pilgrims of old, you know, how they started. Before there was, you know, first thing is an idea, and then you build off of an idea. So the pilgrims of old, they had so many ideas.
The who?
Pilgrims. Pilgrims meaning our ancestors.
Ah, okay.
Our ancestors of old, they had so many ideas, you know, things of the earth, you know, whether it was cultivation of, like, you know, land, building houses and roads and this and that. None of that was there before. Before, it was just an idea. So we're always equipped with the tools to be a better person, to grow. So we don't need to fear. We just need to tap into that.
Yes, yes. That's also a thought that I had before going into this format here, Sing and Talk, is that there was a, you know, just when everyone realized, okay, now things are really going to change, then like a mushroom has Pilz aus dem Boden.
Mushroom, exactly.
Mushroom aus dem Boden.
Exactly.
Like extreme creativity, Aktionismus, you know, like everyone was like doing something, which has really a beauty on it, of course. But during that process, the days passed by, this happened, that happened, I did things, you know, this and that. Suddenly, there, of course, the new sentence came, yeah, the world will be different than before, yes, of course. but like, okay, let's create the new world, or
Absolutely.
you know, which is awesome, and sentences around there. But then I realized, and that's actually my key sentence for this format here, is that we need to get so much better in creating today. You know, what we need to be so much better
right.
in what we create today,
right.
for create it tomorrow.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
And in that is that it's in the details
Absolutely.
of words. It comes down to one word that is going, you know, if one word is like wrong or misunderstood, you know, then it's not going to happen. For example, now you said respect is the basis of that, you know, and then there was the story that we had before, you know, exactly. Respect was the key word.
Right.
So if that would not be true because I had a different experience with you,
exactly.
this whole thing is not true,
Absolutely.
you know. And then how could we create a new workshop, a new online
Absolutely.
whatever,
Absolutely.
you know? And because you live it, because I have an experience with you, because I have a feeling for that, because I see there is another person involved, because I see there is an energy field growing, there are other people, you know, being touched, etc., etc.
Absolutely.
That is so powerful, you know, and that makes me being able, because I create better today, to create a better tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, the last days, really let's say the last 10 days, I for sure had 3 conversations where I had like my voice messages were like this, because like there was something with a person, we had something, and there was some not a misunderstanding, just a little something, just like a milli something, and
right.
it's just there. The milli thing is which is the milli thing is so big, you know.
It can
so
turn, yes.
Because for me personally, I really hate it when things are not in flow. I can't go to sleep when things are not in flow. I just can't, you know. So I started by first thing, you know, so message, one thought, this is why, because this and that, like really in detail.
Absolutely.
Why this and that. And of course the basis is always a yes to the situation, a yes to myself, a yes to the person, and a yes that things things are going to be better.
Right.
After we talked. That's one of my core principles, that whatever I do, it must be better than before.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
if I start a conversation with something, in the end, we all need to rise.
Absolutely.
If we don't do, it's not finished. I need to get better in creating what I, you know.
Absolutely.
You know.
And what I find exactly, which, if I can, how can I say, be a tail on your kite, you know. Sorry, that just means to add to what you were saying. To add to what you just said, that let me drink some water here. Brush, cheers.
Okay.
That by how I want to say this, by showing by example.
Yeah.
Showing by example, and looking at life in this way. This is how I look at it. Whatever I go through in my day, at the end of my day, I always ask one question. Was it worth it?
Ooh, beautiful.
Was it worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the answer to that question, that will let me know if I'm going to do it again, or if I'm going to do it. If it wasn't so right, if something was right, but it could have been better, maybe I'll approach it a different way the next time.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll just leave it alone and do something else. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of times this is one question that we don't ask ourselves. A lot of times we're just in the mode of, you know, going through the motions. You know, we're just going through the motions without really being cognizant mm-hmm. of what we're doing. Or even why we are doing it. You know, we're just doing, we're just going. And that leaves the door open for a lot of mistakes, a lot of failure, a lot of this and that. We're going to have that, but it's not necessary to have so much, you know, as that. So I think if we're able to ask ourselves sincerely, you know, and that goes back to that space, that quiet space, being alone, and you can be alone in a group of, I don't know, thousands of people. You can find your space. It's important to find your space, to be alone, and to ask yourself that. Keep in touch with yourself. Keep, you know, it's almost like, you know, a lot of us, you know, we're really good in giving advice, but sometimes we're not so good at, you know, following our own advice that we give.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
I heard also saying, I would love to talk about this a little bit later. Yeah, I heard some sentences around, you know, around this. Anyway, I don't want to go into that direction. But one thing, I would like to focus a little bit now on the future, towards the future.
Okay.
Because now, of course, new school systems are rising up since some years now. Of course, you know, things are growing and developing, you know, through the planet. I do new platforms and stuff, so we have this wonderful platform here,
absolutely,
and so on. And the thing is, for example, like in technology, like Uber, you know, the taxi.
Absolutely.
In 3 years, they are going to launch, as far as my information is correct, but in 3 years, they're going to launch the Uber Air, something like this. So that means that we are going to have in the future,
right?
You know?
Absolutely.
So we have no idea what is going to happen, but what we know is, what we know is that technology will take over. Yes, for example, Uber, what they do is like little helicopters, not helicopters, like you can sit there, like, how to say, sorry, my English.
This, I know what you're talking about.
It's a little airplane, you know,
this,
just 2 seats, you know.
Drones.
Not a
drone.
Well,
not drone. Oh, you're actually sitting in it.
You sit there, you have a driver, so you go from there to there, you know. So you fly home or you fly to work, you know. And and cars, of course, will be self-driven, so you need kind of a license to have your own, you know. So things are going to change, like we don't know yet, but we can sense there are things showing up already, which I found amazingly inspiring. So what is happening there, or what would be the important or the interesting question for us here is, let's say technology is taking over a lot of jobs, etc., etc. So what is going to stay, or what is going to what we need? What we need as human, we human will stay. We human need skills. We need skills, skills for something, you know, so we need skills, not like going to a job, sit there, wait a little bit over, you know, sit there, wait until the chef says something, or like working for somebody else, you know, for like not your own things, whatever. What I want to say is, the question here would be, what can we, for our skills, human skills, also, you know, not how to make this thing, but skills as a human. What can we learn, or what can the future people or the kids from today learn from us artists for their future, or like for our own, you know, for our future?
No, it's a very good question. It's a very good question. I pondered this question for a while, and I always come back to humans. You know, though it may seem from the outside that we are expendable. I don't know if you know this word, expendable.
No.
Expendable basically means that we are useful until, for somebody in leadership, we become useless. So then we become disposable. So expendable means disposable. Okay. I know this is, follow me here, follow me here. So, my understanding and the way that I've been living and what I see, because I'm an observer of people, no type of technology could ever take over a human being as far as the brain and the heart, because technology can have the technical this and that, but it needs input. So we're always worth something. We're always worthful. So we're always going to be worthful. Going back to what I was saying before, we just need to tap into that and trust it. And trust it and work with that understanding that we are useful and we will always be useful, no matter how much technology is out there. There's, you know, what was the name of the movie, I, Robot? I don't know if you saw that movie with Will Smith, I, Robot, and the computers that were, you know, not, you know, they were just computers. All of a sudden, one computer became you know, AI became intelligent and took over, you know. So it was taking over the humans, and so the vacuum cleaners, everything was like, became like intelligent. So it would like really put the humans this. Of course, that's fiction. But as a human being, we're always going to have something important to offer. This is why I'm not afraid of technology. Having said that, yes, in order for our future to grow, as human beings, we're going to have to grow with technology. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to, how can I say, we're going to have to learn. We're going to have to learn new skills. But we shouldn't be afraid of that because we already have the tools within us, you know, to grow, you know, with technology. So there's nothing to be afraid of.
Talking about growth, I just see that somebody's asking a question. Okay.
Oh, we have questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Christoph has. Okay. Speaking of voice, what do you think about audio podcast? What's needed for interesting formats? Ooh, very nice. And the second thing he asked, can you train a voice to sound more convincing and interesting? I love this question.
That's a good one.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, I'm going to answer too, but...
Go for it.
No,
should I? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to answer the second one first.
Sure.
Okay.
We will give you two stereo answers.
Okay. All right, and okay, so can you train a voice to sound more convincing and interesting? Yes and yes. But, Christoph, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but this is something that you have to find that voice first. You have to find that voice. You have to actually, you know, how can I say, I know this is going a bit deep, but it's like Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. So you have to be the voice that you want to hear coming out of you. And I know this is a bit metaphysical or whatever, but it's actually common sense. It's actually just normal common sense. So you can train a voice to sound a certain way, but if you don't have that, wow, it's really hard to label it. It's really hard to label it. If you don't have that connection, that depth, something in the heart, if you don't know where to go to find that beauty that actually resonates through the voice, this is something that can't be taught. It just can't be taught. This is something you have to have. Okay, so I hope that answers the question. Second one, which is first and second one, speaking of voices, what do you think about audio podcasts? What's needed for interesting formats? Wow. Well, speaking of podcasts, this is something that's a little bit out of my league. This is, how can I say, I'm a bit green on this. I'm a bit new at this. But I know it's not a podcast, but it's a broadcast. I'm using Facebook Live, and there's other types of formats that you can use. I'm not really sure where you might go and get that. But what I can say, whatever you feel that you need to make your voice or the subject matter that you're talking about heard, get it. Just get it, you know, wherever you need to go. All right? So,
yeah.
Tanya.
Yeah, right. So, Christoph, the thing is, I have the feeling that you want to bring out something into the world, you know, or like really be a part of you know, things that are going on, and you are interested in a subject that you want to do a podcast with, and now you don't have such a strong voice. So there are two things. One is the functional, you know, so get resonant, you know, speak a little bit louder, you know, because I'm going to tell you why. Speak a little bit louder, you know, open your mouth, you know, articulate that. If you talk like this, nobody can understand you, you know. So it's important that you can talk, that people can understand you. That's like on a functional level, you know, speak. Put out those vowels and consonante, you know, just talk that we can understand what you're saying. Absolutely. Because otherwise we lose you, you know, we lose you. So, but you cannot talk about something that inspires you and always think about your your mouth and your Buchstaben, oder?
Right.
So what is there to connect? What is there inside to connect? One thing is that Reggie said, you know, like be the voice. But what does that mean? So what I would suggest you is, now in a normal moment in life, you have kind of like an energy, like a normal energy. But then ask yourself, which energy do you have when you talk about, for example, what's in your podcast? So change your energy level, you know? For example, me, I'm very passionate about what we talk, and this is firing me up. I want to stand and talk, you know. I have to move, you know. So my inside energy is very strong. So that's why this comes out like this. But I'm not always like this in my house, in private. I don't talk, or I'm more silent, you know. So change your energy level and make us feel you, you know, make us feel you, and just go out there and show yourself, you know. Go out there and talk about things, and get this, as unbequem, you know, or like dive deep.
Get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Actually, this comfort zone is not so my. I always think comfort zone is where we, you know, where we always should be.
It's true, but that's the trick, to be in a space where it's not normally comfortable, and also to make it comfortable. Yeah,
but basically, change your energy level. Change your energy level and bring that out through your voice and your whole. Passion. Make us feel you as a person, as a human being, because you are the one who is one of the influencing voices. Like people around you, they feel you, and they have other friends, and they have friends. So this is all resonating.
Absolutely.
You know. So be clear on what you want to say, and say it, but say it with that we can feel you as an energy. You know. Okay. Good.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I love this sing and talk. I just love it. Speaking about singing, you have another song.
Do I?
Yeah.
I have thousands of songs, but
I know.
have one for you. I have
awesome.
one for you. All right, okay.
Cool. It's getting hot in here.
Before I sing, I want to say thank you very much. This is amazing. This is beautiful. This whole podcast here, this whole thing here it's such a beautiful idea, and I think it is exactly the right thing for the time.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody needs something to believe in, something to grasp onto, something to say, hey, you know, they hear me. I'm still how can I say? I mean something to someone, you know. I mean something to someone. So, you know, just to say to everyone out there, by listening to this, I hope you understand that you are not alone. Okay? That's not the song I'm singing. But
oh, yeah.
That would have been a nice segue. But I could sing that, but I'm not going to sing it. Okay, here we go. All right. You said you wanted to clap, right? All right.
Yeah.
Let's get into the mood. Come on.
Yeah.
how sweet it is to be loved by you. Oh yeah, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Listen now. I needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. I needed for someone to understand my ups and downs, and there you were. With sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotions. I want to stop and thank you, baby. I want to stop and thank you, baby. Oh yeah, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Oh, tell the truth, yeah. Now how sweet it is to be loved by you. Check it out now, Tanya. I close my eyes at night and wonder what I would be without you in my life. Everything else, oh, it's such a bore. All the things I did seems like I've done them all before. But you brighten up all my days with a love so sweet in so many ways. I want to stop and thank you, baby. I want to stop and thank you, baby. Oh, yeah, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Ooh, ow, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Oh, tell the truth, yeah.
Yeah.
How sweet it is to be loved by you. Nobody but you, yeah.
Woo! Awesome! Love it, love it, love it. Very nice, very nice, very nice. All right. Okay, so we could talk forever. And we are finding an end now, slowly. And you have this wonderful song, which we are going to put there in a minute. So, one thing, liebe Leute, dear people, ich rede mal schnell wieder Zürichdeutsch. So, das ist die erste Sendung jetzt, eben Sing and Talk. Und das ist totally unscripted, also wir haben nichts vorbereitet, ja, dann sage ich dann das und das, sondern ich bin jetzt heute mehr mit so einer Kernfrage reingegangen, so eine Tendenz, so aufgrund von dem, wie der Reggie ist, so wie ich ihn kenne, und habe eigentlich nur den Anfang, also den ersten Satz mir überlegt, was ich dort will sagen. Und alles andere ist go with the flow, weil es dort am direktesten ist. Und mein Punkt ist, dass könnt doch bitte schreiben, Kontakt mit mir, mit uns da aufnehmen, wenn ihr Sachen wollt in dieser Sendung auch haben, wo ihr Themen zum Beispiel, wo ihr interessant findet. Oder jetzt haben wir heute solche gesangstechnische Sachen gehabt. Wir können auf jeden Fall gesangstechnische Inputs geben, so One-Minute-Coaching oder so. Einfach der Punkt ist, let's create this thing together auch. So, mir geht es darum, der Stimme eine Stimme zu geben und das wirklich auch gemeinsam, jetzt auch mit den ganz anderen Sendungen in dem wunderbaren Format da bei Pokert TV, wirklich ein Feld aufbauen, wo wir einander zuhören und wo wir aus dem Ganzen einfach weiter kreieren und ja, Punkt, wo wir weiter kreieren. Also get better in creating today, sodass wir aufgrund von dem so miteinander reden und dann können wachsen dran und einfach gute Sachen weitermachen. Okay? Gut, so, this being said, danke vielmals, Kuble, Pokert TV und vor allem der Gustavo Salami, wo das alles so, wo das einfach so unglaublich inspirierend ist und das einfach alles auch so bestens klappt. Also in dem Sinne danke vielmals. Und now some music. What do we hear? Was hast du da?
One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. Hear the people crying.
Okay, letzte Mal,
I hope it's there. He did so many songs.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's not even up there.
Let's see. Wow. Hey, the last time I had, als ich eine Platte in der Hand hatte, war ich irgendwie mit 17 gewesen. No, it's not there, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No, lonely. The
Bob,
world is changing, no?
Bob does no wrong.
Yeah. So it's song number 2. Okay, so it's left. And okay, so ich sage an dieser Stelle herzlichen Dank. Bye bye. Thank you so much, Reggie Saunders.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
It's a
Danke vielmals.
pleasure.
Bis nächste Woche. Nächste Woche am 4 Uhr wieder.
Bye bye.
Switch.
See how confused you are.